Hi, my name is Brianna Staub. I am 16 years old. I've been going to Mission Church and started for almost 2 years now. Well, I grew up in a Christian household, so I always had that foundational basis of Christ in my life. But I started to drift away around like the 6th, 7th grade years, like the middle school years, beginning middle school years. And it was really hard and everything was really empty, and there was kind of a disconnect between me and especially at home between like me and the rest of my family, as they were like active Christ followers, and as I was drifting away into like a different place. Well, I came to faith in Jesus when I was little, but then once, like I said, I decided to like recommit my life to Christ, I guess, around like the end of 8th grade before the beginning of freshman year. And it was just because I kind of hit like a rock bottom. So it was kind of like I really needed to go back to my roots and really figure out who I was. Especially before high school, I really needed to figure out who I was. So I kind of like just laid it all out and decided that it was time for me to go back home to Christ. I think that the biggest people in my life, my parents obviously have always been there to help me, but really the biggest person who's really been my hero and like my walk with Christ has been my brother, Jake. And he's just really good he's always been there for me. He's always been kind of like a best friend to me. And he always helps me like in my walk and like making sure that I am where I need to be, and no matter what, I know I can trust him with anything. And he's always been there to like, even when I was at my bottom, it was just, he was there to uplift me and like be there for me. I guess a special circumstance surrounding my comeback to Christ, I guess you could call it, was that one of my brother's closest friends, Nick, had just passed on from cancer. And it was kind of like at that point there was a lot of hurt around me, but at the same time there was a lot of Jesus around me as well. So that was one of the things that was really like a pusher in me coming back to Christ, just because like even though it was such a tragic and hard time, at the same time there was so much like of God's love and like of God's healing touch around us that it made everyone feel at least a little closer to God. I have committed my life to Jesus and to following him and to accepting him as my Lord and Savior all throughout my life. The reason behind me wanting to get baptized was I felt like I was in a place in my spiritual walk that I had progressed even further than I thought possible. I had just finished a week-long mission trip, which I thought that I would never be capable of. And it was just something that I had already pushed around my bounds, and I really have a close bond with my youth pastor as well. So I thought, like, what better person to help me devote my life to God and to help me show that declaration of devoting my life to God than like Daniil to baptize me. And my brother was there too, and like there was so many people surrounding me that it was just like, it was that push for me, and I decided that it would be the best thing for me to commit my life completely to him and to show it, especially in that time. Even though sometimes especially to people outside of following Christ, baptism can kind of seem like a thing that you have to do, or a thing that's like predestined for you to do as a believer, but I really do believe that it does bring you closer to God. And I do think that I have felt closer to God since being baptized. I do think that I have felt more of just like an overwhelming like joy, because it's just like being able to show people like that declaration is just a very special feeling.